You've got two runners lining up in the Premier Cup. Beauty Eternal, a horse that has had a fantastic season. He's still only a young horse. What did you make of his win in the Lion Rock Trophy last time out? Once he got to the front, he did it fairly easily, didn't he?
Yeah, well, he's done everything probably expected of him from the beginning. He's always shown plenty of potential and good ability, and he hasn't disappointed us yet. So I think that probably he's going to run well again. He had a couple of interruptions in his program throughout the year, so I don't think it's been too taxing for him. Hopefully he can run well again.
Those little interruptions that you speak of, where he got loose that day, and then he obviously had that, I think it was a lameness issue. Sort of, how was it sort of to try and sort of plan around those? Did it make it more difficult to get him towards the 4-year-old series?
No, not really. He's fine. He did his job and went on with it. I think he's done his best all the way through. So, but that gave him an opportunity to have a break at some stages.
What do you think his best distance is? Because he has been anywhere between 12 up to the Derby distance of 2,000.
Well, probably the distances are best defined when they get up in class and they're running against really at their own level, whatever it may be. So at this point we haven't sort of narrowed it down yet, but I'm sure by the time he comes back next season we'll have a good idea of what he can do, and we're also limited to the distances of the races that are available in his class.
You've also got Red Line in the race. He's won 4 of his last 5 starts. Has he been a bit of a surprise packet sort of at the back end of the season for the stable?
No, the first day we raced him, he ran really well. Happy Valley, he came off the outside gate and he showed good speed and he stuck on, so he looked like a racehorse really from the first day. And he's developed and gone on with that. Yeah, he's been quite workmanlike, but still keeps stepping and going up in class, and he's done a lot of good things. He's handled the wet tracks, he's handled the firm tracks, so overall he's been a very good horse for us.
He came out of the Northern Hemisphere where he was able to win up there in the UK. What sort of do you think is the key to getting those sort of horses here to Hong Kong and running well so quickly? Because sometimes it can take horses quite a while to acclimatise, so to speak.
Well, I think it's up to the horse actually. It's got a fair bit to do with the horse himself and his heart and mind. So if they make the adaptation to Hong Kong quickly, it's a huge advantage.
Brenton, Go-Go 16, a last start winner. Talk me through the run, because I think we can all agree, and all the viewers tuning in, it was a very good ride.
Yeah, it worked out well, Tom. Look, he's a horse he'd been racing well at that sort of level, and sometimes he didn't step well and sometimes he had, so it was an occasion where he didn't step well, which probably worked into our favour because we were able to find the rail from a wide draw, and he was able to get the runs through, and the runs came at the right time, but he was able to be tenacious enough to put his head through and got the job done. So it was obviously a big thrill, and he now steps to 2,000, which I think will suit him.
Did you think that he got the win because the other horse that challenged Darcy Joy was out wider?
Yeah, out there I actually thought I did. I didn't realise it was as close as what it is, but I hadn't seen the winner post at Sha Tin there, obviously. So, no, it all worked out well. But like I said, Manfred's got him going really well, and looking forward to partnering him again on Sunday.
If he jumps cleanly from barrier 2, do you think you can sit that bit closer with him over the 2,000 metres into that first turn?
I think so. Look, a couple of the boys have been on him and had him closer. So, look, it wouldn't be a bad thing. But obviously, he does appreciate probably ridden where he's comfortable. So we'll keep that in mind. And he has raced well at 2,000 before, so I think he obviously goes up a few kilos, but I think he'll get his chance to race well again.
In saying that he hasn't won over 2,000 metres, but he has, of course, performed over 18. You think he's certainly capable at the 2,000?
Yeah, I think so. Look, I think Karis on him, he demolished him over 1,800, so I don't think the 2,000 holds any threats to him.
How was his work during the week?
Yeah, look, he's a very casual worker, doesn't do much. He's a lovely big horse, but yeah, look, as long as he's feeling well and moving well, I think that's the main thing.
Other day you were granted an extension next season by the licensing committee. How have you sort of summed up your time here so far, and have you enjoyed the challenge that it's been?
Yeah, look, I've enjoyed it. We've been here now, 7 weeks, and we've had a couple of winners and 14, 15 placings. So we've been around the mark. Obviously, the good opportunities are hard to come by, but hopefully we're working to a point where we're getting some better rides now. And look, like I said, I've enjoyed it. I didn't really set a number. A couple of people out wide probably sent me a number, and it tend to be around 5 or 6 probably for the 11-week stay. So if we can get somewhere near that, then I'll probably be happy.
Golden Express in race number 6 put them away in great fashion last time out. It was more than convincing. How do you feel he's progressing at the moment? You must be delighted with the way he's been able to really step up.
Yeah, he's been good. I mean, it was a fairly wet track the last time he raced, and he obviously handled the conditions very well, so it could be a little bit flattering. But he's done nothing wrong. The last 3 starts he's been perfect in every way, and there's sort of a long time between races here, but his couple of trials have been good, and hopefully he can keep improving.
That last win, did it sort of surprise you a little bit how he was able to quicken so well off that wet track?
Well, it's an illusion actually. He not that quick, but he handled the ground in a superior fashion to the opposition, so that made him look good.
What about this weekend, Barrier 7? How do you sort of see maybe the race setting up ideally for him?
Well, I think it's, he'll run in his normal pattern, I think. He might be following the speed, and he mightn't get much cover from there. That's the only problem he could have. But if he races quietly early, he should have the energy to finish off.
John TUCHEL going around in the Premier Plate over the 1800 metres. What was your verdict on the last run? Wet track where he's beaten into 3rd placing 3 lengths.
Yeah, well, rain-affected tracks are always a bit tricky to assess horses on, but I thought it was a sound effort. Finished in the money, and he seemed to run a normal race, but with the weight that he had and the conditions of the day, maybe he could be forgiven for not winning, but I thought he still raced very well.
What about the setup for this weekend? Good draw, doesn't look to me probably a lot of pace in it, so it looks like it'll be fairly tactical, you'd think?
Well, I'd say it could be handy. He's in a slow run race, he can take a position, and I think that he should be able to manage it as well as anybody else.
How's he trained on since that last start effort?
Seems all right. Not long between races, but he pulled up quite well after the race. He's done well at home, so I think he'll run well again.
With the weight that he's got in the race, the light weight, it's probably fair to say it's not the strongest ever edition of the Premier Plate, and a few of the other runners have been out of sorts for a bit. Does it look like an ideal race for him, you think?
Well, he looks well placed for that. It just depends on the circumstances of the race on the day as to whether he's disadvantaged in any way. But on paper, it looks suitable.
He's up a triple figure horse now, off 100, runner-up in the Derby, of course. How much further do you think he can go?
Well, I'm not sure how much further he would go in rating or in distance, but his form on the form guide has suggested he's got a little bit more in him, so we'll trust him to do that, and hopefully when he comes back as a 5-year-old he might find a bit more strength.
Lyle, Dragon's Luck resuming off an enforced layoff. How's he come back with those 2 trials under his belt?
Yeah, I think he's come back in as good form as he was prior to that setback. He's moving really well. He's actually settled down a little bit too, which is a bonus. He's nice and relaxed, and I think all things are going well leading up to his comeback run.
That was sort of my next question. From when he sort of first kicked off his career here, has he strengthened up? Has he matured, relaxed a bit more, he's mentioned?
Yeah, he has. He's certainly matured from a mental perspective. He's always been a nice, strong horse and a decent type. So, yeah, from a mental side of things, we've seen each run he progress, and maybe slight blessing in disguise that he had that little bit of time off. We'd rather do it on our own terms, but nonetheless, he's got time to just sort of take a step back and come back fresh to hopefully run well towards the end of the season.
How was his gallop on Thursday morning?
Very happy with his gallop. We have the hood on him at work, keep him settled and quiet, and he just went through his paces nice and relaxed and stretched his legs, which was ideal coming off that trial where I thought he trialled nicely but had room to come on from, and I think he's done just that.
There looks to be quite a bit of speed in that race. You are one of the speed influencers. His record says when he's led, he's been able to win. Has he got more to his bow than that? Just that, because when he did run third, he missed the start a little bit, didn't he?
Yeah, look, I think that run when he ran third wasn't the worst either. Look, ideally we'd like to lead. He obviously enjoys it out there, and he's strong off the front. But like you say, there is one or two others with speed that could sort of cause a bit of problems. So I think we have to just ride according to the horse's comfort zone. And now that we know he's he's got a small issue too. We can't press the envelope more than he can handle. So yeah, we'll take it as it comes. Plan A would be to get out in front, and if we have to go to Plan B, we'll do that on the day.